Good morning, boys and girls. Today is Tuesday, May 26th. You guys had off yesterday for Memorial Day. I hope you had a fabulous Memorial Day and spent some time thinking about the veterans we've lost. So today we're going to continue with our reader of the War of 1812, and we're going to start going over our workbook pages. And then we're going to read the end of the war together. But the first workbook page we're going to go over is 26.1, which is your new spelling words for the week. These are our last spelling words for the entire year. Woohoo! So we have general, mortar, ragtag, naughty, like naughty pine, piece, not a piece of pie, but like we want peace, treaty, soldiers, Mississippi, a proper noun, capitalized, traders, river, goods, highways, drains, orphan is a child without their parents, fired, proud, streak, like a series of something, like a winning streak, defend, and hickory, which is a strong wood. Okay, so and number 20, our tricky word, is another proper noun, New Orleans, which is very important battle in the War of 1812. I wouldn't say so much important, but a different one. So we'll hear about that soon. Then as we scroll down, you'll see your next worksheet is 26.2, matching pictures and sentences. So you have a bunch of pictures here, like a wand, we have a swan, a llama, a watch, and you're going to read the sentences. Oops. Like Watkins llama has on pajamas. Oh, that looks like him, so you're going to put a number 1 in that box. So it's just practicing reading sentences and putting the numbers to match the picture. Pretty easy. 26.2, that's the same thing. And then a reread of the end of the war that we're about to read together. So read this to a family member. Maybe they'll learn something new. And then this is the worksheet that you're going to submit today, 26.4, alphabetizing your spelling words. So you're going to have all 20 words that you have to alphabetize. In the past, we've been doing it in groups of 5. This time, it's working with all 20, okay? So there you go. And your spelling test will be on Friday, so study. Here we go. War of 1812 reader. We need to find the end of the war, page 86. Page 86. Uh-oh. Come here. Do you have a boo-boo? What happened? Find page 86 and I'll be right back. Did you pinch it? You want a kiss? Is it better? Mwah. You want an ice pack? Okay, I get an ice pack. There you go. Take your ice pack. Right. Okay, page 86. Let's get there quickly. Sorry for that. Okay, chapter 10, the end of the war. On January 8th, 1815, the British attacked New Orleans. They planned on winning without much trouble, but they did not know how brave Andrew Jackson and his men were, or how good they were with their weapons. The British soldiers had on bright red coats. A wave of them charged. So that means they went in like rows at a time. Jackson's men crouched or hid behind their walls. They took careful aim. Then they fired. Their bullets hit the first wave of British soldiers. The British kept coming. Jackson and his men kept firing. The wall helped to keep them safe. When it was all over, the U.S. flag was still flying. The British gave up their attack. Woo! And here we have a picture. You've seen this before of Andrew Jackson with the sword, and his soldiers defended New Orleans from the attack by the British. The British took heavy losses. 2,000 of their men were killed or hurt. The U.S. Army lost no more than 100 men. New Orleans was safe. Americans cheered for Andrew Jackson in the Battle of New Orleans. After time passed, a letter arrived. It said that the war was already over. On December 24th, 1814, now remember this battle happened 1815 in January. So about 20 days later, they got this letter. On December 24th, 1814, the United States and Great Britain signed a treaty to end the war. This was 2 weeks before the Battle of New Orleans, but Jackson and his men did not know that. In those days, news traveled slowly. There were no radios or television sets. There were no phones. There were no computers to send emails. A letter could only travel as fast as a man who carried it. It took a couple of weeks for news of the treaty to get from Europe to the United States. So it had to come from over Europe, from Great Britain, to the United States, and it had to travel over the Atlantic Ocean to get here, so it took a while. That is why Jackson and his men did not find out about the treaty until after the battle. America's greatest victory in the War of 1812 came after the war was already over. So it was kind of a battle fought for nothing, but it was important to us because it showed that we were strong and we could beat them and defend ourselves. Here's a picture of the Battle of New Orleans. The War of 1812 lasted 3 years. It's hard to say who won. Both sides won battles. The British burned Washington, D.C., but the Americans won the Battle of New Orleans. Old Ironsides won a number of battles at sea, but other U.S. ships were sunk. All in all, there was no clear winner. So it was kind of like a tie. It might seem as if the war was for nothing, but some things had changed. The Americans had battled together as a nation. They had done it well. They had taken on the mighty British and had held their own. The world saw they were strong. So it kind of proved ourselves as a new nation. The end of the war marked the start of the new age in U.S. history. It was an age of national pride. The War of 1812 showed that the United States of America was here to stay. And here is Andrew Jackson went on to become the 7th president of the United States, and his face is also on the $20 bill. So if you have a $20 bill at home, you will see his portrait on it. Okay, that's our story for today. So make sure you read that with me and make sure you submit 26.4, your spelling words. Thank you. Have a great Tuesday.